Hi, I'm Cash and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where today we're breaking down England against Bosnia-Herzegovina. I'm just trying to get into the rhythm on these friendly games before the Euros, and I will be covering every single game. Now, there's a couple of things I want to show you in this game. A couple of things I want to talk about is Gareth Southgate and why he is an actually terrible manager. And the moment I explain that to you, that's one of the points I'm going to cover. You're going to go, oh my God, that's so simple. And it's how you make teams integrate different players to your teams, and all those simple things that you should know as a high-end football coach, which he is not. Also, we're going to cover a little bit of the VAR decision and a couple of goals going on, and a little bit of the shape and system. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the shape and system here before I give you a Gareth Southgate rant. But you can see when you're trying to play out the ball out of the back, and England end up losing the ball here, but you can see how hard it is when you don't really have width out wide. Width out wide, that makes no sense. Of course width is out wide, Cash. But width up front. So it makes it very, very difficult for you to play any sort of pass to get out, other than going through the midfield. And clearly you can see the little pressing, the little high line there to deal with that. I'm going to come on to Bosnia's shape a couple of times throughout this video. But I do want to tell you quickly about the Gareth Southgate terrible coaching, because it's very, very simple, and when I explain it to you, you're going to go, oh yeah. So for instance, if you want to find out if your striker is good, so we're talking about England in this aspect. I need to turn my webcam on for the Euros because I'm ranting and you can see my hands waving and moving, and it makes it way more engaging. So the main thing with changing your striker, so you're putting Ollie Watkins up front for Harry Kane, for instance. Well, that's well and good, but you don't have Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham supplying the ball. So you don't know if he's a good striker because he hasn't got the two best midfielders that he's going to be playing with him. So it makes no sense to play that player there. The two midfielders you play with him are nowhere near the quality. What is it? Conor Gallagher, and it doesn't matter because they're not Jude Bellingham and Foden. So the simple way of looking at it is this is a science experiment, and you've got many variables on the field. You've got full 11 variables, and what you want to do is change one variable in one position and add somebody into that, so you can see how they integrate with the team that you're looking to pick, your first team, and where does this person, are they better or worse than your other pick. What you really want is your full team, and then you take out Harry Kane and you put Ollie Watkins in, and you see, okay, how does it change the team dynamic? Changing an entire team and saying, oh, now we can have a look at the players is moronic, because these players won't be playing like this. They won't be in this system. They won't be playing this way. So you're not seeing anything that you wouldn't see from their club team. It's a moronic way. And any coach that's done any level of football knows this. The fact that the England manager isn't doing it, what he's really doing, he's doing it for PR and headlines. So, oh, look, I gave all these players England caps and I did all this stuff, which is completely useless for England to go on and win the Euros, which I think is quite funny. But let's get on to the first goal, which is a VAR decision. Okay, this is really, really interesting, because in the highlights, you cannot see, good job I watched this game live, this guy get pushed over by the other guy running away from him. Could he have challenged for the ball? Maybe. Would he have pulled him back? Maybe. But you cannot negate that this is a complete and utter foul here, and they're not showing it, which is hilarious. So you know it's corrupt. This is what happens at the highest level. They're making awful decisions because England can't score against Bosnia-Herzegovina, so they give them a penalty. Is this a penalty on the shirt pull here? Yeah, probably, if it's an isolated incident, but it's not. There's a foul beforehand. So this first foul negates the second foul. You kind of go, well, this crime here, it kind of gets rid of this crime here, because this foul was first. So if you're doing a VAR decision, you'd VAR this one first. Oh, wait, we can't get to that one because we've already blown for a free kick on this one. They don't do it because, you know what? Football isn't what you think it is. This guy gets his little shirty pulled, and yeah, he does. Yeah, it's a foul, but this guy gets fouled first. So that's what should have happened. They don't show that on the highlights. They don't really show that on this replay at all. Tried looking for it to add it to the video. I'll probably find it on Twitter in about 5 hours' time. I'll add it into a short, most likely. But look out for that. Not a penalty, because there was a foul before it that the referee didn't call. Here we are then on this fake penalty. To be fair, the young man does quite a good job putting it past the keeper. The keeper's really close to this. Let's look. Gosh, the keeper's pretty close to that. But the power and placement beats him. The keeper just really can't get his. So he's going with his right left hand down, as you can see here. And his right arm's trying to come over his shoulder. He can't get the second hand across quick enough. And that's the gap that the ball goes through. Overall, a quality penalty, but never a penalty in the first place. Okay, before we get onto the Trent goal, I'm going to show you a little bit about their formation here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 there. So generally what these 3 are supposed to be doing is, you see these gaps here, fill these gaps on whatever side the ball's in. So you generally leave one side open there. All right, and you don't really run in and fill the gaps. What you're actually trying to do is stay a certain distance away, so you're close enough to make any challenge, so no ball can be passed into these gaps, if you understand that. So that player wants to cut that gap down, that player wants to be there to cut that gap down. This is going to become apparent when I show you the Trent goal and how this shape just gets torn apart and broken. And because of the broken shape, they get a goal scored on them. So here we go. Here's the start of the move. I want you to keep a little eye on Trent here. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players here, all in a line getting caught. Now, generally what happens is when you're 1-0 down, which they shouldn't have been, you start to panic, regress a bit and go back an extra 5 yards. That 5 yards is important. Made a bit of a challenge, but that means they're not up here. Let's just draw that a little bit better. They're not up here challenging in this sort of area here. They're way back here, and that 5 yards is hugely important. And the ball's played here. One of the other things I want to talk and I'm going to mention about international football and a lot of the main differences is people say, oh, it's just slower pace. That's not actually true. That's, again, people don't know what they mean. It looks slower because all of the players are already in the correct areas that they need to be, because their off the ball movement is better. They're not what's called panic reacting or reacting to a play. So here's what I'm talking about. Here's a reaction to a play. They're trying to react because they're not in shape and they're trying to win the ball back. And this is when you score an international play, right? So it's on transitions, and any time you can get the other team to react to something because they're not set in their shape. Because when they're all set in their shape, almost at any level, they're really hard to break down, because they're all good footballers to be playing international football. Even on the weaker countries, it's just the way it is. It's because of organisation, discipline, and everybody knows their job. Now you want to watch Trent here because he gets completely and utterly unmarked. And as we were talking about that back 5, so the reason what you want to have the back 5 for, let's just say I'm not sure which one of these guys are the centre backs. We'd have 1, 2, 3 centre backs. You'd have a right back and a left back. And I don't think that's the case in this situation, because whoever the left back is, or the centre backs, someone's made a mistake. And the reason you have 3 centre backs is because you can always have your left or right back push out on the side where the ball is, and the other guys can stay in and defend because they're not good enough. But when you go forward, you can still have 3 at the back, and you can get width with your 2 guys going forward. All right. Chelsea do it kind of wrong, just because they don't do the defensive side of it well enough, so they can do the attacking side. And Bosnia and Herzegovina don't have enough of the ball, so they don't really get to do the attacking side, so they're only really good at the defensive side in this particular game. But you can see there's no left back over here. So what's happened is you've got 3 England players that have just been completely unmarked. Everyone's kind of switching off because it's a little bit late in the game. So this is why Trent gets all of this magic space. Now look, you can see he's tucked in, marking his player. He's back. He's on the wrong side. 1, 2, 3. But this guy here is in no man's land. I'm assuming he's the defender completely and utterly wrong. You see that? This guy here. Because what's he doing? He's marked there, so he doesn't need to worry about the pass. He's got him. Where are you supposed to be, Sonny? Because if you're back here, chances are he's back here. Chances are he's back here. But you're not. You've snuck forward and you've made a little chink in the armour. And that chink, it's like these little puzzles I talk about. I'm going to have to find a better way, because I know how to explain it to people, visually. But I can't actually have the computer skills to do that graphically. So, very strange, yeah, I know, but that's the cash. So, you can see Trent, he doesn't have that much movement, because he's that sort of player. And one of the best ways to create space and find space is just to stand still and see what happens. And that's what he does. He starts screaming for the ball, but look at how many players are here. 1, 2 are completely and utterly out of shape here. They're nowhere near anybody or to do anything. And Trent spots it, screams for the ball. And as this comes in, he does not hit this ball cleanly. I want you to understand that. He kind of shin rolls it. If you understand what I'm talking about, it kind of hits his shin, comes off his foot. That's why it gets that little bobble and a bounce, and it goes into the net box. Let's watch this. Bosh, off it comes. Bosh shin rolls it into the ground, and it goes in past the keeper. Still a quality finish. You've still got to have good technique to get that shin roller off, but point your toe, and as long as your toe's pointed in the direction that you want the ball to go, that's where the ball will go. There we go. Another coaching tip from the cash. Yeah, we need to get more into the back into the old coaching after my 20 plus years of coaching. I should really be giving back to the community a bit more, but it's all kind of trash nowadays. So there we go. Let's get on to the last goal. This is the only point I'm actually going to be talking about, because there was a bit of a build-up play from this corner. Comes here. Ball finds its way here to Jared Boeing, who goes to score. And I think this is Jared Kwanzaa. Oh, by the way, the racist commentator that I was listening to on Channel 4 kept calling him Joe Gomez, because I'm assuming he can't tell the difference between the two players because they're both black. Yes, racist Channel 4. What else can you expect? Right, so when this ball comes in, Kwanzaa actually defends it off the line. It's quite good. But look at Harry Kane. This is what goal scorers do. He was on the back post creating space, but all of a sudden, look at the marking there. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. When this ball comes in, it bounces off the Kwanzaa, a little bit there, and Kane's there to tap it in. Now, the reason Kane's able to do that is many reasons, but there's always a player like it. I don't care what team of football you play on. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and it's a gift. And Kane is there, gets himself a goal, bit scruffy, goes into the net box. But you know what? They all count, and sometimes scruffy goals, they're the most satisfying, because you had no right in doing it. It was all a bit of luck, and you're giggling all the way to the dressing room going, I should never, never, ever have scored that. But other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football. Don't forget to be around for the Euros, and there's loads of links in the description below of all the audiobooks and other sort of stuff that I do as well. Thanks a lot.